So Chad Johnson was on his nightly show called Nightcap with Shannon Sharpe, and they were talking about the decline of Deshaun Watson and how it left Chad Johnson confused. Here's what he had to say. He says, "I'm confused. I've been watching football for a very long time. The nosedive I've seen from maybe a top 3 quarterback when he was with the Texans to the version of Deshaun Watson I'm seeing now. How? In such a short amount of time, how? He doesn't even move the same. I think injuries weigh a lot on his mind. He hasn't been the same." Sharpe said, his last year starting in Houston, he led the NFL in passing yards. Deshaun's a bottom 5 quarterback. And I'll be honest with you, I really don't know if there's an answer to that, right? Because, listen, Deshaun Watson, 2021, right? He sits out. He wants out of Houston. He doesn't want to be the Texans anymore. He wants out. Sits out the whole 2021 season. He finally gets traded to the Browns in 2022. Now, if he would have went to the Browns in 2019, I could have said, well, maybe Freddie Kitchens messed him up. But in 2020, they got rid of Freddie Kitchens. And they brought in Kevin Stefanski. And he's been the coach since 2020. So it's not even like you can make the argument, oh, well, maybe it's the fact that their head coach was a problem. Kevin Stefanski's been one of the best head coaches in the NFL. And he's been his head coach the whole entire time, 2022, 2023, and 2024. And then you might say, well, what about the offense coordinator? Well, before they got Ken Dorsey, they actually had Alex Van Pelt, who was a really good offensive coordinator. And again, played very well. Coached very well. So it's not a coaching problem, right? Whenever you have a quarterback who really falls off, first thing you always do is look at the coaching. Is coaching the problem? No. Is leadership the problem in the coaching department? Absolutely no. So, and obviously, yes, Deshaun has some injuries. He felt, he has a suspension that really did hurt him. So what happened? My growing suspicion, and again, I'm talking about him as a player, not as a person here. I think that what happened is him sitting out for a year, defenses got better. Everyone got better. Teams got better. And I think him sitting out for a year destroyed him. Because it's that level of, okay, you were playing at the highest level possible. And he was with a Texan squad, nonetheless, that wasn't good. Okay, that Texan squad was absolutely booty butt cheeks, but yet he was still able to be successful with it. And I think sitting out for a year, it's just everything. He paused and everything else got better. Everything. All the quarterbacks in the NFL got better. Defenses got better. Defensive players got faster. Coaching schemes changed. Coaching got better. Everything did. And he came back to it, and before he could just go right back into playing, again, sitting out for a year, then he deals with suspension. He has injury issues. He's getting hurt. So now he's thinking on his mind, okay, I'm getting hurt. I have injury problems. You also gave him that humongous contract. I think the best thing I've ever heard was actually came from Shannon Sharpe. He says, you want your quarterback always hungry. And he was actually talking about Lamar Jackson when he said this, but he said, once your quarterback gets paid, he's no longer hungry, right? If he's hungry for that contract, he's hungry for that money, he's going to go out there and he's going to do everything he can to get that contract as soon as possible. But once he gets that contract, you start to learn about a player. Is that player still hungry anymore? If they're not hungry anymore, they're not going to play the same. And that's, again, might be another situation. You got a situation of, again, getting paid, guaranteed money. He's dealing with injuries. So now he's thinking about long-term for his life. he's set for life, 100%. You got to deal with the off-the-field legal issues, right? Him being accused and accusations against him. That's also a factor that kicks in. You know, that's a mental struggle. A lot of people, and I'm not, you know, listen, I don't like Deshaun Watson. I don't have any fond opinion of him in any way possible. But I will say there is definitely something I feel like that probably went against his mental health when it came to these court cases and all these accusations against him. Again, I'm remaining as unbiased as possible here, but because none of them, he was not found guilty, I'm going to say accusations, allegedly. Because of that, though, that's a lot to weigh down on you. You know, that's a lot on your mental health. And now you got to balance that between playing in the AFC North, the toughest division in football. He gets hurt, and then Joe Flacco comes in. Joe Flacco's amazing. You know, he's hearing the writing on the wall. He's hearing the chatter from Browns fans. When you put all that together, you kind of destroy a guy. You know, and again, his actions definitely helped to get him to that point with some of the actions he did. But again, it's just all these factors together, injuries, getting paid, getting that guaranteed money, fans not wanting you anymore, you know, not playing that good, you're always looking over your shoulder. Even though that obviously they're not going to get rid of him, and because of his contract they can't, there's always that every time he messes up, he's looking over his shoulder because they brought someone in off the couch and he did better than him. So I think it's the confusion part is, at this point, I don't think there's any recovery arc for him. You know, I think mentally he's gone. I think physically he's still a great quarterback. But I think the problem is it's a mental game. And I think the mental part has been destroyed over the years. And I don't think it's a problem that can be fixed. I really don't think it is. Because when you look at it, you can't fix it from a coaching perspective. You can't. Maybe you could say, well, you could fix it from if he trains harder, does this, that. I don't think so. I think this is a complete mental game. And mentally, he's checked out. That's kind of how I look at it. And this is not me coming from a bashing Deshaun Watson angle. This is coming from a realistic point of view of, I think, him sitting out for a year and then all the other crap that happened in that time period destroyed him. I don't think Deshaun will ever be a top 10 quarterback again. Don't think he will. And I think Cleveland, you're going to learn you're better off going Jameis Winston as soon as humanly possible. If not, you're looking at Jatavian Sanders or Carson Beck. Because I don't think this is your guy. Just my personal opinion. Tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys next one.